Life before Soteria was a little scattered. I wasn't really stable. I wasn't in my right mind. I was making choices that I wouldn't normally make.
I guess I was in a constant state of flux because I was not on a stable ground mentally and didn't really know what was real and what wasn't.
I sort of had some things I was dealing with, some perceptions that were blocking me from experiencing the world in the way I wanted to, and then it was hard for me to be an individual in the world all of a sudden, and I was experiencing these perceptions that other people didn't necessarily experience.
I was definitely feeling scared. I was feeling alone. It was hard for people to understand what I was going through, and I knew that. It was hard to talk to them about it.
It's hard to put into words what a mental breakdown feels like.
I basically, spiraled into these versions of myself that I didn't want to be, and I didn't know how to escape.
I was living day to day, but I wasn't really living. I was just surviving and just having delusions about where I was in my life, looking around at everyone kind of going mad, but maybe it was me who was going mad on the inside.
I ended up going to these psych wards, and the lady who facilitates people in there, she mentioned that there's a place I could discharge to that could potentially help me.
They came and visited me and told me what they were about and their values, and I felt like I could sit well with it, so off I went.
When you get to Soteria, you're gonna walk into a room with a table and some people. And you're not going to be able to discern whether or not there's patients and staff. You don't see any nurses or doctors. We're all just people in an experience.
I remember walking in and walking up the stairs, and I was so anxious, and I had this nervousness that I always have, but everybody was very open and kind to me, and I remember that one scenario pretty vividly.
It's a good place to store a bunch of lenses for life. You don't have to wake up at Soteria every day and look at life the same way, because when you walk down those stairs, there's going to be people down there that are in their own headspace and dealing with their own stuff and have been through their own experiences and maybe found themselves in similar situations to the one that you're in right now.
Honestly, I feel like I was blessed, with the people that were in the house at the same time as me and were really comfortable with talking about their stories, and we could kind of relate to similar places in our lives.
There's something very powerful, I think, about human connection and having a sincere space to be yourself. You can go to anyone that works at Soteria and find something profound, because there's something real and tangible we can relate to as people that are going through tough things. I wake up in the morning and I know there's individuals that are there to help me, whether they're paid or not.
The relationships that you make at Soteria are, I think, one of the biggest things that you take away from the house. Those relationships that you make are going to be lifetime relationships. I really feel like I have a community out in the world that's there for me.
You don't make a distinction between resident and staff because it's irrelevant. There's absolutely 0.0 oppressive environment created by one person having power over another. There's great suggestions, but no one's gonna make you do anything.
I definitely felt supported in making my own choices at Soteria. It wasn't limited to anything. There was activities that you could attend, but ultimately you could kind of go about your own life.
You're there to find some stability within yourself. Nothing they're gonna do for you, pharmaceutically or otherwise, is going to get you out of the headspace that you're in right now.
At Soteria, I was going into the world at my own pace, and the staff let me be myself and help myself in the way I wanted to. And rather than tell me what to do or say, you need to do this to get better, and this is our structure, you need to fit into that, they sort of built the structure around me and allowed me to figure out what's best for myself.
I would say while I was at Soteria, one of the biggest things that changed in me was my ability to take care of myself. It wasn't like anybody sat down and taught me the skills. I mean, I already had the skills, I just wasn't really paying attention to myself.
I can look back at all the things that happened and I can say, yeah, I had that experience and I learned X, or I had this experience and I learned Y, because life is hard and life is tough. But that doesn't mean that our lives can't end up getting better because of our negative experiences. It means that we can grow and learn from the negative that has happened to us as well as the positive. And Soteria is an incubator environment for those experiences that you can learn from. And that's what I gained from it, is experience overall. Things that I'll never get to do again, never want to do again, but I'm glad they happened.
Once you're put in the system and you're labeled things, it can be shattering to individuals and who we are and what we think of ourselves. That's what's great about Soteria. When you step in there, they don't treat you like you're wrong or broken, and they treat you like you're a person and you have these experiences and they're profound, rather than saying, you're crazy. Without these pills, you're never gonna function in the world again.
There's a huge transformation that goes on. It's like you can choose whatever direction you want to bring your life in, and it's so broad, it's so open, and to have that support system there for you really plays a huge impact in how you decide to turn your life around and where you want to be. I feel like for me, I went into Soteria as like a little unsteady cocoon sort of, and then gradually I shedded my cocoon and turned into a beautiful butterfly.
I don't think there's like a fix to anybody's problems or anything like that, and I think Soteria gave me the tools to deal with these things I'm dealing with on the day-to-day. It's not like I went there and I took a pill and all of a sudden the chemistry in my brain is realigned and I'm this new euphoric person. It was more this accumulative thing over the course of time and these little experiences and thoughts, and when I was struggling with something, I could go to staff and talk about it and sort of experience my thoughts in a new way and see them in a new light, where it's not about fixing me and more so experiencing me and what am I and what are these thoughts, what are these things that are putting me in a place I don't want to be, why am I experiencing them, and are they real, what's the nature of everything.
Right now I'm going to school. I am interested in studying nutrition and alternative medicine, so I'm really interested to see where that takes me. I enrolled in classes just this past September. I was just kind of focusing on my mental health, and I felt like it was at a good place in my life where I could pick something back up again and feel like I could succeed at it.
Right now in 2019, I'm thinking about who I want to be in the future and what that looks like and what it will take for me to get there. And these things are less about physical achievement and being a person in the world, and more so how I'm thinking about the world. I could dishwash for the next 20 years, and it could be profound if I'm thinking the way I want to think and experiencing the challenges I have and getting through them the way I want to. So when I think about the future and who I want to be, it's less about being a physical manifestation of something and more so an internal metaphysical identity, you could say. And so I just want to look at the world in a positive manner and have the right thoughts to get me there.
In a hospital, you're a patient. In a police station, you're a suspect, until proven guilty, in which case you're a prisoner. At Soteria, you're a human being experiencing some stuff. And that's how you're treated, and that's how it's viewed. And there's no labels. You're not a diagnosis. You're not a commodity with no real value. No one's waking you up to take some pills. You're a living, breathing, feeling human being. And it's hard to find an organization that once you're diagnosed won't treat you like a diagnosis. I can't really sum it up better than that.